What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the two-wheel teacher, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the reasons that I went ahead and made my second bike my first big bike, and why I went with a Harley bagger. Let's do it. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. It's a quick and easy way to help me out so I can continue to bring you this here motovlogging content. Like today, I'll be talking to you guys about why when it came time for me to potentially buy my second bike, why I went with a big old Harley Davidson Street Glide bagger. So if you've been watching my videos so far, you know that my very first bike I bought here in Tallahassee, it was a 2007 Harley Dyna Street Glide. What I call the perfect first bike, because at least for me it definitely was. And you'll know that last summer I sort of stumbled upon my Street Glide at a dealership that was going out of business up in northwest Iowa, and when I saw the price tag I was really surprised, immediately interested, and on a day when I thought I was in no position to be buying a motorcycle, I bought one. The very first reason that I bought my Harley bagger was that I wanted a bike that we could both travel on and both be really comfortable on for more than like an hour. And the Street Glide has definitely been it. All that really took was replacing the stock seat with a bigger seat, or at least a seat that had more room and more support and cushion for the passenger, and boom, we were in business. We've done 4 hours straight on the bike together to Mobile, Alabama, and it was a great ride for both of us. So reason number two. So when I got my Dyna, and after I got comfortable with it after the first few weeks, I immediately wanted to start taking trips, and so I rode to Savannah one weekend while Haley's mom was in town. The ladies drove the car, and I wanted to take the bike just to see what that sort of distance trip would be like, and I learned a lot, and it was so much fun that when I got back I was like, next time I could take a trip, I'm gonna take a trip. And that was in November. And then in February we had a music teachers conference down in Tampa, which is about a 4.5-5 hour drive from here, and so of course I loaded up the bike and rode down to Tampa, and that was a heck of a lot of fun. And then last summer, still on the Dyna, I rode from the western side of Minnesota to the very eastern side of Wisconsin to visit the Harley factory in Milwaukee. And that was between a 7 and an 8 hour ride one way. And I just fell in love with long distance riding, and I knew as soon as I could get a bike that was really more built for that, because Dynas aren't, You certainly can do long distance rides on a Dyna, obviously. I did a few, sort of mid-length 400 to 600 mile rides. I did those on a Dyna, and it wasn't terrible. Obviously, it got me really interested in long distance rides, but I knew as soon as I could afford a bike that was built for long distance, I would buy it, and so that's what I did. And in a couple weeks here, I'm going to be doing 1,200 miles in 2 days to head back up to the Midwest to go to a wedding and visit some family for a couple weeks. And luckily, I'm on a bike that is built for that sort of long distance riding. Reason number three why I got a bagger was because the practicality. And a lot of people say that one of the biggest complaints about riding motorcycles is that they're not very practical. Well, I would disagree with the saddlebags, and if I put the road bag on the back, I've got room for basically as much stuff as I might need to take with me to go travel. There are plenty of times when Haley and I are trying to get stuff together for dinner, and maybe we're missing something and we need to make a grocery run. I make the grocery runs all the time. Not because Haley doesn't want to, but because any reason to be on the bike, I'm going to take it. And there's not a whole heck of a lot that we buy for groceries that I can't fit in the saddlebags or fit on the luggage rack. So, no, taking the kids to soccer practice, if you've got more than one kid, I probably wouldn't be able to take them all to soccer practice. But when it comes to reasonable tasks, errands, or even just getting two people to a different spot, a motorcycle can actually be a pretty practical way to get around. And so that's another reason why I went with a bagger. Reason number four I went with a Harley bagger is because of the longevity of these touring bikes. And I mean longevity in a lot of ways. I follow a lot of social media that is pretty much just photos and videos of baggers and street glides. And what I have noticed is that, when I see a 20-year-old bagger next to a 5-year-old bagger, I can't necessarily immediately tell the age difference. There are some design differences, especially, the front fairing. If it's 2014 or newer, it's going to have the vent on the front. And if you can see the inside of the fairing, you can tell sort of what era of technology they have for the radio. But, other than that, Harleys are a classic look. They're a timeless look. I knew that, especially these twin cams, these 103 twin cams, they run forever. If you take care of them, they won't really stop. The twin cam was around for early 2000s until I think 2016 when the Milwaukee 8 came out. Fact of the matter is, these twin cam motors were around long enough that there are a ton of parts out there. So if you do need to make some sort of replacement or repair, you can, and it's not going to run you, into the ground financially. These twin cams, they'll last as long as you want them to last. Keep fluids in them, replace parts on time, and they're a really, really reliable bike. And that timeless look that I was talking about, that brings me to sort of my fifth reason, is by that time that I ran into this bike, I had already decided, motorcycling was something I was going to do probably for the rest of my life, and I decided that the manufacturer that I really enjoyed was Harley Davidson. So when I ran into a classic black street glide that was in the shape that this is in, I was like, hey, why wouldn't I buy this? It's here, it's affordable, it fits my budget, checks a lot of boxes that my Dyna didn't check. It's got that classic Harley Davidson big touring bike look. That fits me. That's my deal. That's what I want to do, is be able to pretty much go anywhere as far away as I want and be comfortable while I do it. Those are the 5 big reasons why I went with a Harley Davidson bagger. If you ride, let me know what kind of bike you ride. If you're a bagger kind of guy, let me know why. Are the reasons that I talked about, do those apply to you, or do you have other reasons for why you went with a bagger? And if you're not a bagger rider and you would never be a bagger rider, I also want to know about that. I don't think riding a bagger is about being right or wrong or better or worse. It's just a different kind of riding for a different kind of rider. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. I'm the Two-Wheel Teacher, and I'm going to see you all on the road.